Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Mythlook with your host Nitin Nair. In the previous episode we talked about a new mythology that we introduced, that's the Sumerian mythology, and I thought instead of introducing something new again, let's look at a new kind of creature that we probably never talked about in this channel. And this one is from Philippine mythology. Amazing set of stories and traditional practices that come from the hundreds of islands that form the Philippines today. So today we are going to look into a very interesting character known as the Tikbalang. In Philippine mythology, the Tikbalang is a half-human, half-horse creature, and it is very similar to the centaur in Greek mythology. It is believed that a Tikbalang would scare away travelers or lead them astray. In order to break free from this, the creature would require the lost individual to turn his clothes inside out. These experiences usually happen in rural and dark areas, and especially after sunset. The Tikbalang may have originated from Hayagriva, an avatar of the Hindu god Vishnu, whose worship was first recorded in 2000 BC. Before the Spanish arrived in the Philippines, there were no horses in the area, so the history of a horse-shaped creature was not possible. In the pre-colonial period, Tikbalang was regarded as a spirit of the forest or ghosts and were also referred to as multo and bibit. In some versions, the transformation of an aborted fetus sent to earth from limbo. Contrary to popular belief, the Tikbalang is not a centaur. It can be described as being a reverse centaur, as the centaur has the body of a horse and the torso and head of a young man. The Tikbalang has the head of a horse and the body of a human. The Tikbalang is a tall, thin creature with disproportionately long and disproportionately large limbs to the point that its knees reach above its head when it squats down. It has a thick mane and a lighter colored fur. Some accounts also claim that the eyes of the Tikbalang glow like embers, and there is some fiery glow associated with it when enraged. No specific origin stories are attributed to the Tikbalang, and it is widely believed to be due to the introduction of horses in the Philippines by the Spanish and the stories that evolved due to that incident. The Tikbalang is believed to reside in balete trees, also known as the banyan tree. This tree is somehow feared and associated with enchanted beings and paranormal activities. It is also believed that the balete tree contains portals to other realms. According to traditional folklore, the Tikbalang can transform itself into a human form or turn invisible to humans. In the Philippines, Tikbalangs are known to scare travelers by playing tricks on them which will keep them from returning to the correct path. In addition, they are also believed to be guardians of elemental kingdoms and are seen guarding large trees that are considered to be the portals or the entry point to these kingdoms. They say that the only way to be free of a Tikbalang's control is to turn your shirt inside out. But most of the time this becomes very difficult because you are possessed and you are in a state of delirium when being attacked by a Tikbalang. One of the Tikbalang's tricks is to transform its appearance into that of a close friend or relative who might have been in the area when it encountered them. This will make it appear as if it knows how to lead its victims to a place that is far from their destination. When the time comes for the Tikbalang to reveal itself, the victim may experience a spell of tobacco before the face and body of their guide blurs as it changes from that of the victim's relative or friend into its own true monstrous form. Those who have been unlucky enough to encounter a Tikbalang are known to wander into villages or towns and talk incoherently. People who try to help them will often tell stories of how they were pushed, knocked to the ground and hit repeatedly. All they could do was laugh as they were being tormented by the Tikbalang, and when eventually they stopped resisting, they were left alone. The Tikbalang is a popular character in Philippine movies, television, and novels. The story of the creature is used to educate young children on the culture, mythology, traditions, and religion of the ancient Philippines. The first episode of the 2015 web series Creatures of Philippine Mythology featured the Tikbalang, and it traced the evolution of this creature from India to the present day. In Arnold Arre's graphic novel The Mythology class, a Tikbalang named Lucio is featured. A children's book about the Tikbalang, Kabilugan ng Buwan, aims to introduce the kids to mythology of the Philippines. In the story, a Tikbalang becomes very lonely during the full moon due to the lack of a playmate, and after leaving its home in the kalumpang tree, the creature encounters various animals. So you can see that the Philippine people are actually really trying hard to keep alive their traditions and their folklore, and having a fantastic creature like the Tikbalang makes things a lot more interesting for the younger generation to digest and also show an active interest in. We'll be looking forward to bringing you a lot more such characters, not only from Philippine mythology but from all around the world as well. Thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of Mythlook. This is your host Nitin Nair, signing out by reminding you once again that Mythlook is the home of mythology.